Some houses don't creak, don't leak, and show no signs of damage. They're clean, bright, and perfectly staged. But the people living inside slowly lose everything: career momentum, financial stability, even peace of mind. It doesn't happen all at once. At first, it's just little things: poor sleep, forgetfulness, a sudden argument over something silly. Then money starts slipping through the cracks. Promising opportunities vanish, deals fall apart, and no amount of hard work seems to fix what's quietly unraveling. You might think it's bad luck or burnout, but what if the problem isn't you? What if it's the house? There are homes that look beautiful on the outside but hold energy that drags everything down. And most people never see it coming. They move in full of hope, with dreams of safety and success, only to find themselves stuck in a cycle of constant strain. Feng Shui isn't just about where to place a plant or which direction the bed should face. It's about the flow of life itself. When that flow is blocked, reversed, or twisted by the structure of the home, the results can be devastating. Not in a loud, obvious way, but in a slow leak of joy, focus, and fortune. If you've ever felt like your home is making you tired, like your effort never matches your results, or like you're constantly starting over, this video is for you. Because this isn't just about architecture, it's about survival. And once you know what to look for, you'll never see your living space the same way again. So ask yourself as we begin, is your house silently working against you? Part 1, the land still carries old sorrows. You can repaint the walls, replace the windows, and landscape the yard. But there's one thing no renovation can touch: the history of the land your house stands on. It doesn't matter how fresh the carpet smells or how sunlight spills across the floor. If that land carries unresolved sorrow, you'll feel it. Not in a dramatic way, not always in obvious misfortune, but as a weight. A quiet, invisible resistance that makes life harder than it should be. You'll notice it in the way your goals stall out for no clear reason, in how small tensions at home escalate, in how good intentions keep turning into missteps. You tell yourself it's just stress, just coincidence. But what if it's something deeper, something buried not in memory but in soil? Across cities and towns, many homes are built on land that's seen far more than blueprints and bulldozers. Perhaps it was once the site of bankruptcy, betrayal, violence, or unspoken grief. The energy of those experiences doesn't simply vanish when the walls go up. Like smoke trapped in old curtains, it lingers. The ground remembers. And while we may not be trained to recognize it, we do feel it. It shows up as a sense of unease or repeated patterns that make no sense. Why do good people keep failing in this space? Why do families argue more after moving in? Why do dreams wilt, slowly and silently, even as the house looks picture perfect? This isn't superstition, it's pattern. In fact, in many parts of the U.S., real estate law requires sellers to disclose if a death occurred in the home because emotional residue matters. Some buyers still ignore it, hoping fresh paint and good lighting will erase the past. But you can't outrun energy. You can only acknowledge it and choose what to do next. Because energy, like grief, wants to be witnessed before it moves on. When left unseen, it becomes part of the atmosphere, settling into the walls, the floorboards, the silence between rooms. If you're living in a home that feels heavy for no reason, or where misfortune seems to repeat itself no matter how hard you try to change your circumstances, it might be time to consider what your house is built on, not just legally, but emotionally. This doesn't mean you're doomed. It means you're being invited to understand your space on a deeper level. The same way we inherit emotional patterns from our families, homes inherit energy from past events. And if those events were never healed, You may be carrying that burden without realizing it. Think of it like moving into a house where someone once left mid-conversation. Their sadness is still echoing in the corners. Their rage is still humming under the floor. Their losses still ripple through the structure. You don't see them, but you respond to them. Maybe your relationships become more fragile. Maybe your business decisions backfire in ways they never used to. Maybe your sleep feels shallow, your body aches more, your mind loses clarity. You write it off as aging or circumstance. But what if your house has its own memory, and it's whispering something to you? We often underestimate how deeply our surroundings shape us. Not just our habits or routines, but our emotional bandwidth, our clarity, our hope. The land we live on either supports or drains us. That's why two identical families can move into two identical houses and experience completely different outcomes. One thrives, the other slowly unravels. The difference is rarely in the furniture. It's in the unseen. So what can you do if you suspect your land holds sorrow? First, trust your instincts. If you felt something was off since day one, you're probably right. Second, listen. Sit in silence and pay attention to where in the house you feel most uneasy. Is there a room you avoid? A hallway that always feels colder? Don't ignore it. That discomfort is information. Then begin a gentle clearing. Not with fear, but with love. Open the windows. Let light touch the corners that have stayed in shadow. Speak aloud to the space if you feel comfortable. Say, whatever happened here before, I honor it, but it doesn't belong to me. This is a place for peace now. You'd be surprised how powerful those words can be. The most important thing to remember is this: you are not imagining it. If your home feels stuck, if your life feels heavier since you moved in, it may not be your fault. It may simply be time to bring light into the places that have held too much darkness for too long. Because even land with a sorrowful past can be softened. Even pain can become quiet when finally acknowledged. And the moment you choose to make space for peace, your home begins to breathe differently. So ask yourself now, what story might your house still be holding, and are you ready to let it rest? Part 2, Homes That Never See the Sky. Not every home feels heavy because of what happened inside. Sometimes the weight comes from what never enters it at all. Light, air, a sense of openness. You might not think much about it at first. After all, the place looks fine. It's in a convenient location, the walls are solid, and it even has a nice kitchen. But over time, something shifts. You wake up tired no matter how long you sleep. Your thoughts feel slower, foggier. You find yourself getting irritable more often, and simple decisions start to feel hard. You blame stress or age or the season. But if you pause and really notice, you might realize your house doesn't breathe. It's surrounded, covered. Dim, it never sees the sky. In urban neighborhoods and crowded suburbs across America, homes are being built tighter and taller. We're used to it. Townhomes stacked side by side, apartment buildings towering overhead, fences and garages blocking every inch of natural flow. While this makes economic sense, energetically it suffocates. Light and fresh air aren't just comforts, they're life forces. They bring movement, clarity, and emotional space. When a home lacks these things, the people inside begin to mirror that. Their mood flattens. Their motivation wanes. They feel stuck even if everything looks okay on paper. Have you ever walked into a house that felt stale? Even if it was clean and updated, there was something about the air, still heavy, unmoving. That's more than poor ventilation. It's energy without circulation. Life that has no room to flow. We underestimate how much sunlight helps our perspective. How natural air stirs up mental clarity. When a house is boxed in, by other buildings, by cluttered fences, by poorly placed walls, It becomes like a glass jar with a lid on too tight. Nothing comes in, nothing leaves. Over time, that has a cost. People who live in these kinds of homes often report the same quiet symptoms: a lack of drive, financial stagnation, unexplained fatigue, growing disconnection from family members. The success they once had starts slipping. They feel like they're working harder than ever but gaining less. And it's not because they're doing something wrong. It's because their environment has no energetic exchange. It takes in all their effort but offers nothing back. There's no uplift, no expansion. We are designed to interact with nature, even just the basic cycle of morning light or a cool breeze through the window. When our homes disconnect us from that, it doesn't just affect our mood. It affects how we think, how we feel, how we make decisions. This is especially dangerous for those who run a business, manage a household, or need clear judgment daily. Mental fog and emotional weight are invisible thieves. They steal your potential little by little. Look around your home now. How much sky can you see from where you're sitting? When you open your windows, do you hear birds and wind, or only walls and echoes? Is there a spot where sunlight freely falls, or does everything feel shaded and gray, even at noon? These aren't aesthetic questions, they're energetic ones. A home that never sees the sky is a home that blocks perspective. And that's a dangerous place to build your life. So what can you do if you live in a home like this? First, acknowledge it, not with shame, but with awareness. Then begin to create little spaces where air and light can enter, even symbolically. Pull back the heaviest curtains. Replace thick blinds with something sheer. Add mirrors to reflect any sliver of daylight deeper into the room. Paint your walls with lighter tones. Trim hedges or shrubs that block the view. Hang artwork that opens the imagination, landscapes, skies, open water. If you live in a tight-row home or apartment, even a bright lamp placed with intention can shift how your nervous system responds to the space. More importantly, breathe consciously in your space. A home may not have many windows, but your breath can become one. Let yourself sit near the area that receives the most natural light and take a few deep, grounding breaths there each morning. Let that be your window to the world. Over time, the energy inside your body begins to soften what the structure cannot. The goal isn't perfection, it's flow. You don't need a mansion with skylights to feel expansive. You need a relationship with your environment that invites movement, not stagnation. When your home feels open, your mind does too. And from that place, it's easier to feel hope again, to think clearly, to make decisions with confidence and calm. You might not be able to move walls, but you can always move light. You can always move air. You can always move intention. That's how healing begins, not through dramatic change, but through the quiet act of saying, "This home may not have seen the sky in a while, but today I'll help it remember." Part 3, where fortune walks in and straight out. You work hard, save diligently, and finally buy a home that feels like a fresh start. But months later, things begin to unravel. Money slips through your fingers. Business deals go sideways. Even relationships in the house grow tense, scattered, unstable. You're left wondering what changed. Sometimes the answer isn't in what you're doing, it's in how your home is built. Specifically in the way energy flows or leaks through it. Because certain home layouts don't hold fortune. They push it away the moment it enters. One of the most overlooked yet critical design flaws is the straight path layout when the front door directly faces the back door. It looks efficient, clean lines, a sense of openness. But energetically, it's a fast lane for good energy to rush in and leave just as quickly. In Feng Shui, we call this the through-and-through flow. But you don't need to know ancient principles to feel it. Homes like this often feel ungrounded. You walk in and feel slightly unsettled. It's hard to stay focused. Ideas scatter, conversations don't settle. Money, too, comes in and flows right out. Add to that a staircase pointed straight at the entrance or a bathroom placed directly in the center of the home, two more common disruptions, and what you get is a house that can't hold anything. It can't hold rest, it can't hold clarity, and it certainly can't hold prosperity. Over time, this causes decision fatigue. You second-guess yourself, you miss obvious red flags. Not because you're careless, but because your environment is constantly discharging the very energy you need to function well. Imagine your home as a container. If it's shaped in a way that pours out water the second you try to fill it, you could keep pouring for years and still never feel full. That's what life feels like in homes with poor energy containment. It's not about square footage or design trends. It's about whether your house helps you keep what you work so hard to earn. Whether it supports your focus, your balance, your stability, or whether it whispers no in 100 small, invisible ways. And the worst part? These layouts are common, especially in modern construction that values aesthetics and cost efficiency over energy flow. You'll see beautifully renovated homes with open-plan layouts and sleek staircases that, energetically, function like exit ramps for luck. That's why some people move into their dream home, only to see their finances, motivation, or even marriage begin to decline within months. So what can you do if your home is one of them? First, stop blaming yourself. You are not the problem, but your environment might be working against you. Begin with simple energy anchors. If your front and back doors align, place a plant, a screen, or a piece of furniture between them to slow the energy flow. This creates a pause, a moment of stillness, so that what enters doesn't rush out before it settles. If a staircase points straight at your entrance, soften the line. Add a rug, a hanging light, or even a curved piece of furniture nearby to gently redirect the energy. And if your bathroom is at the center of your home, keep the door closed as often as possible. Use scent eucalyptus, lavender, cedarwood to cleanse and ground the space. Small changes, yes, but powerful ones, because you're not just altering decor, you're redirecting flow. Also, look for signs your home is losing energy. Keys misplaced constantly, food spoiling too quickly, increased forgetfulness or irritability, an urge to leave the house more often than stay. These are subtle clues that something in the space is off balance. When you correct even one of them, the shift can be immediate. You feel more grounded, less rushed, more present in your own life. A well-designed home doesn't just look beautiful, it makes you feel safe enough to rest, supported enough to act, and stable enough to grow. It holds your efforts, it amplifies your intentions, and it gently keeps the good things that come your way from slipping through the cracks. Because fortune isn't just about income or opportunity. It's about whether your life feels like it has a foundation. And if your house is draining that, it's time to seal the leak. So take a slow walk through your home today. Look at how the energy moves. Stand at the front door. Where does your eye and your energy go next? If it feels like a rush to the exit, place something there that says, stay. Stay with me. Stay with this life I'm building. Because sometimes all it takes is one shift in space to change the direction of your whole story. Part 4, Walls that whisper warnings. Walls do more than hold up a roof. They shape your sense of safety, absorb your daily emotions, and quietly reflect the condition of your inner life. When the walls of a home begin to crack, peel, or deteriorate, something deeper is often unraveling too. You might not notice it at first. A small fracture near the ceiling, a bit of paint bubbling behind the couch. It's just age, you tell yourself, just weather. But the truth is, walls break down slowly, just like us. And often they do it for the same reasons: too much stress, too much silence, too many things left unfixed for too long. Homes with visible wall damage, cracks, stains, warped corners, carry an invisible message. They tell you without words that energy is leaking, that the structure meant to protect and contain your life is weakening. And when that happens, it's not just air or moisture that escapes. It's peace. It's focus. It's the emotional sense of being held together. You may find yourself increasingly anxious or indecisive, distracted at work, or overwhelmed by decisions that once felt easy. Not because your life is harder, but because the very space you live in has stopped anchoring you. There's something deeply unsettling about living among broken surfaces. No matter how well furnished or clean your home is, damaged walls send a message to your nervous system. Something's not right. That message builds over time. You feel it when you wake up and immediately sense pressure in your chest. When you go to relax, but the room feels unsettled. When arguments start more easily, when patience runs thin. It's not your imagination. Brokenness in the environment mirrors brokenness in experience. And here's where it gets even more personal. Walls don't just break from neglect, they break from absorbing too much. Think about everything your home has witnessed: tension, grief, uncertainty, maybe even loss. The energy of those moments lingers. It settles in the structure like moisture in drywall. Unseen, unspoken, but deeply felt. A wall that begins to crack may be carrying a history your mind has tried to forget, but your body still remembers. This isn't to say every cracked wall is a spiritual omen, but it is an invitation to look closer. Because homes, like people, reach a point where they can no longer hold the weight alone. And when that happens, they show it, quietly, consistently. It's in the way one corner always feels colder, in the paint that keeps peeling no matter how many times you redo it, in the hallway that never quite feels welcoming. So what can you do when the walls around you start to show stress? First, notice. Don't dismiss it. Don't cover it with a picture or ignore it for another year. Stand in front of the damage and say to yourself, "This matters." Let it matter. Then clean the area. Touch it gently. Yes, you may need to call a contractor or patch the paint. But before you do, take a moment to acknowledge the message. Something needed attention. Something still does. Next, create new stability, visibly and energetically. Repair what you can, but also reimagine what that wall represents. Maybe place a grounding piece of art there. A landscape, a tree, a symbol of calm. Maybe play soft music near that space for a few days. Burn sage or Palo Santo with intention. Not because it's trendy, but because it signals to your home, we're healing now. We're no longer ignoring the cracks. Also, think about what part of the house is breaking down. Is it near the kitchen, the heart of nourishment, the bedroom, the space of rest, the front door where energy enters and opportunity arrives? Each damaged area offers a deeper clue about what might be leaking or out of alignment in your life. When you respond with care, your home responds too. It's easy to focus on big goals, financial success, productivity, emotional growth, and miss the small structures silently supporting or sabotaging us. But the truth is, those cracks in the wall aren't just maintenance issues. They're reflections of time, of pressure, of everything that's been carried too long without help. And healing begins the moment you stop pretending not to notice. You don't have to fix everything overnight, but you do have to listen. Because if the walls are whispering warnings, it means they still believe you're paying attention. And that's something. That's the beginning of change. So pause. Run your hand along that chipped paint. Feel the cool surface. And ask yourself, not with fear, but with quiet honesty, what part of me has been holding too much for too long? And what might happen if, this time, I chose to repair, not just the surface, but the foundation beneath it? Part 5, objects that carry uninvited memories. You walk through your home and see the usual things. Shelves full of books, old framed photos, a cabinet of dishes you haven't touched in years. It all seems normal, familiar, even comforting. But what if some of those objects are quietly anchoring you to things you no longer need? Not in an obvious way. They're not cursed or broken. They're just heavy. Not physically, but emotionally. They carry stories you've stopped telling but haven't truly released. And those stories, like dust in forgotten corners, can weigh down the energy of a home and the life within it. Clutter isn't just about mess. It's about emotional residue. The box of letters from someone who hurt you. The outfit you haven't worn since a difficult time. The gift from a person who's no longer in your life. You might keep them because they were expensive or because you think you might need them someday. But that someday never comes. What does arrive, again and again, is a subtle sense of fatigue, tension, and stuckness that you can't quite explain. That's not just clutter. That's memory refusing to leave quietly. Most of us don't realize how deeply our belongings affect our energy. Every object you own takes up not just space, but attention. It either uplifts or drains, invites joy or prolongs grief. And in a home filled with too many outdated, unused, or emotionally charged items, there's very little room left for fresh energy to enter. It's like trying to plant a new garden in soil already tangled with old roots. No matter how hard you try, growth will be limited. Think about it. Have you ever cleaned out a closet and suddenly felt lighter? Have you ever thrown away something small and immediately noticed your mind felt clearer? That's not a coincidence. That's your energy recalibrating. Our physical environments mirror our internal ones. When our surroundings are overfilled with the past, we struggle to move forward, even when everything else in life seems ready for change. It gets more complicated with sentimental items. We tell ourselves we're honoring memories. And sometimes we are. But there's a difference between remembering and reliving. When an object constantly pulls you back into sorrow, resentment, or regret, it's not sacred, it's a tether. A silent signal to your nervous system to stay in the past, no matter how much your heart wants to move on. Even functional items can carry emotional weight. That coffee table you bought during a difficult time. The dishes from a marriage that ended. The bed where you cried through sleepless nights. You might not consciously think of those things each day, but your body remembers, your energy responds. And over time, living surrounded by objects tied to unresolved feelings slowly chips away at your clarity, motivation, and peace. So what's the solution? Not everything needs to be thrown away, but everything should be acknowledged. Walk through your space with intention. Ask yourself, does this item still serve me? Does it bring ease, lightness, or comfort? Or does it echo something I've already outgrown? If the answer leans toward discomfort, consider releasing it, not as an act of loss, but as a gesture of freedom. Start small. One drawer, one shelf, one box in the garage. Don't focus on perfection, focus on energy. Imagine every cleared corner as an invitation for new ideas, relationships, or opportunities to enter. The clearer your space becomes, the more clearly you'll think. The more freely you'll feel. This isn't just cleaning, it's clearing. Energetic reset through physical action. You can also repurpose or ritualize the letting go process. Donate items with gratitude. Burn a note with the memory you're releasing. Take a deep breath each time you close a newly emptied cabinet. Let it be gentle. Let it be sacred. You're not discarding your past. You're deciding which parts still deserve a seat at your table. And if you live with others who resist this process, don't force it. Focus on your space, your belongings, your energy. Often, once one person begins to shift, the whole home starts to respond. Because the energy of a house is never still. It's either expanding or contracting, flowing or stalling, based on the choices you make every day. Ultimately, your home should reflect who you are becoming, not just who you've been. And that means curating it with care. Letting go of what no longer resonates, making space for what does. So the next time you hold something and feel a pang of discomfort, ask yourself, is this just an object, or is it an anchor I'm finally ready to release? Part 6. When you and the house fall out of sync. Not every mismatch in life is visible. Sometimes the misalignment is subtle, showing up as restlessness you can't explain, fatigue that clings no matter how much you sleep, or an unshakable sense that your life just isn't moving forward. When everything in your life seems technically fine, your job, your relationships, your routine, but something still feels off, it's worth asking a deeper question. Could it be the house? Homes have personalities. They carry moods, histories, and energies that interact with ours every single day. And like any relationship, sometimes that connection goes out of tune. You move in full of hope, decorate with care, even feel a strong sense of belonging at first. But then the harmony fades. Your clarity starts to cloud. You feel stuck in patterns you thought you had outgrown. Progress slows, tempers shorten. You begin to notice that you haven't really rested in months, even though you've been sleeping in your own bed every night. That's the sign you and your house may no longer be in sync. This kind of disconnection doesn't always come from clutter or poor layout. It can happen even in a beautiful, well-maintained space. What shifts is the emotional alignment. A house that once matched your energy may no longer reflect who you're becoming. Maybe you've grown and the house hasn't. Maybe the home holds energy from a time in your life you're now trying to move beyond. Grief, hardship, burnout. Or maybe it carries echoes from previous owners that never fully cleared. Whatever the reason, the result is the same. You start to feel resistance in your own space. You might notice this in how you avoid certain rooms, or how you start spending more time outside your home, looking for clarity you can't seem to find inside. Your creativity dips. Your joy feels shallow. Even simple tasks begin to feel draining. It's like living in clothes that no longer fit, not because they're broken, but because they're no longer made for who you are today. It's important to understand that this isn't your fault, nor is it the house's. Sometimes the paths simply diverge, but the consequences of staying too long in a misaligned environment are real. It begins to affect your choices, your motivation, your sense of what's possible. You start playing smaller, settling more, doubting yourself in ways that didn't exist before. Not because your mind has changed, but because your energy is constantly navigating friction you can't quite name. So how do you begin to restore that sync, or decide whether it's time to let go? First, listen to the house. Really listen. Walk through each room and observe how your body reacts. Where do you breathe more easily? Where does your chest tighten? Which corners feel warm and which ones feel blank or cold? This exercise isn't about logic, it's about intuition. Your body always knows what your mind may try to explain away. Next, look at what your house still reflects back to you. Are the objects, colors, and arrangements empowering or outdated? Do they remind you of a version of yourself you've already outgrown? If so, begin shifting. Sometimes even small changes. A new rug, moving a piece of furniture, clearing a forgotten drawer, can recalibrate the entire emotional tone of a space. If the mismatch runs deeper and no amount of rearranging brings relief, Consider the possibility that the home's journey with you may be complete. This doesn't mean failure. It means honoring the chapter you've shared and recognizing when it's time to start a new one elsewhere. Just as we outgrow jobs or relationships, we can outgrow spaces. And leaving a home that no longer fits isn't giving up. It's listening. It's choosing alignment over attachment. And for those who can't move immediately, who feel stuck in place financially or logistically, start by reclaiming your energy within the space. Create one corner that feels truly yours. One room where you feel safe, clear, and grounded. Tend to it daily. Let it become a pocket of peace that begins to ripple outward. Sometimes one aligned space is enough to start shifting everything else. At the end of the day, a home should do more than shelter you. It should support your growth, hold your rest, and mirror the light you're working to keep alive. If it's not doing that anymore, you don't need to push harder. You just need to realign, with care, with intention, and with the gentle knowing that every home, like every season of life, has its time. So take a breath and ask quietly, does this space still recognize who I am? And if not, what small act could begin to bridge the gap between the house I live in and the life I'm ready to claim? Part 7. Gently resetting your home from within. Sometimes healing doesn't begin with a breakthrough. It begins with a single drawer, a quiet breath, a moment when you finally stop and ask, what if the energy in my home could feel different? Lighter, calmer, more alive. You don't need to start with a renovation. You don't need to move. You just need to begin where you are. Because every home, no matter how cluttered or drained it feels, holds the potential to be reset, gently from within. Most people wait for a crisis before making changes to their space. A sudden illness, a breakup, a deep rut they can't explain. But your home often whispers long before it shouts. It shows you where energy is blocked by the way doors stick, lights flicker, or corners collect forgotten things. And the truth is, the space around you responds to your attention. When you neglect it, it echoes back with stillness, confusion, or fatigue. But when you tend to it, even in small ways, it begins to breathe again. And so do you. The first step to resetting your home's energy isn't about what you buy. It's about what you release. Walk through your rooms with soft eyes and ask yourself, what in here no longer reflects who I am becoming? What feels heavy, outdated, or emotionally stale? You don't have to throw everything out, but you do need to make space for light, for movement, for life. Letting go of objects that carry sadness, resentment, or stagnation is not losing, it's liberating. Once space has been cleared, turn your focus to light. Natural light is one of the most powerful healers, yet so many homes are kept in semi-darkness. Curtains drawn, windows blocked, shadows thick in forgotten corners. Open what you can. Let sunlight hit walls that haven't felt warmth in months. If you live in a space with limited windows, use soft, warm, artificial light to mimic daylight. Add mirrors to reflect brightness deeper into the room. You're not just lighting a space, you're reawakening its spirit. Next, focus on flow. A reset home is a home where energy moves freely, not just physically, but emotionally. That means removing obstacles from hallways, unblocking entryways, and allowing air to circulate through every room. Open the windows, even for 5 minutes a day, and let the old energy leave. You'd be amazed how different a home feels after just one breeze. Then invite in symbols of renewal. These don't have to be expensive or elaborate. A vase of fresh flowers, a bowl of citrus, a soft rug where your feet feel grounded. An image that reminds you of who you are when you feel most at peace. These are not decorations. They are energetic anchors, signals to your nervous system that say, this is a place of calm, of clarity, of growth. If you're spiritually inclined, consider gentle rituals to help shift the energy even deeper. Light incense or a candle with intention. Play soft instrumental music or nature sounds in the background. Speak aloud a quiet blessing over your space, not as performance but as presence. Something as simple as, "May this home be safe, may it be peaceful, may it welcome joy." Words matter. They linger in the air long after they're spoken. Your home hears you, but perhaps the most transformative shift comes from your relationship to the space. Begin showing up differently. Slow down as you enter your front door. Express gratitude silently, even for the shelter it offers. Sit in stillness in your favorite chair and simply notice how the room feels. When you cook, do it with mindfulness. When you clean, let it be an act of care, not just maintenance. Over time, these small gestures add up. Your home, like any living system, responds to love. And if you live with others, let them witness the shift. You don't need to preach or push. Just quietly create pockets of peace and let those moments ripple. Children, partners, even pets will begin to feel the difference. Often, it only takes one calm corner to begin resetting an entire household. Resetting your home isn't about chasing perfection. It's about coming back into alignment, where the outside begins to match the inside, where the space you wake up in actually supports the life you're working to build, where the energy of the home holds you, not the weight of your past. So begin with something small today. One drawer, one window, one kind word spoken to the walls that have held so much. And remember, transformation doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes the quietest shifts are the ones that last. Because the real power of a home lies not in its walls, but in the way it makes you feel the moment you walk through the door. And that power is yours to renew. Final, some homes echo with laughter, some hold silence like a forgotten room, and some, without meaning to, hold onto heaviness that no one speaks of but everyone feels. As we've explored together, the architecture of a home isn't just about materials or measurements. It's about energy. And energy has memory. It moves or gets stuck. It flows or it fades. And when it fades, we begin to feel it in ways we can't always explain. Tension that won't leave, finances that won't stabilize, a kind of mental fog that lingers even after sleep. You've seen now how different parts of a home can impact your daily life. How the land a house stands on might still carry grief from generations past. How a lack of sunlight or fresh air can quietly erode motivation. How flawed layouts, doors aligned too directly, stairs pointing like arrows, can pull fortune out as quickly as it arrives. You've seen how cracked walls aren't just cosmetic but symbolic. How clutter isn't just physical, it's emotional memory wrapped in objects. And how sometimes, even when everything looks fine, your soul and your home are no longer in rhythm. What ties all of this together is one truth. Your home is not passive, it's active. It's not just a backdrop to your life, it's a partner in it. Whether that partnership is nourishing or draining depends on alignment. And alignment begins with awareness. This isn't about superstition. It's about subtle influence. The kind of science that doesn't always live in data, but in how your breath changes when you enter a room. In how your thoughts get clearer after cleaning one forgotten corner. In how your nervous system feels less burdened when a space finally reflects the version of you you're becoming, not the version you've outgrown. You don't need to memorize Feng Shui rules or redesign your house overnight. But you do need to pause, feel, observe. Notice what parts of your space make you feel more alive and which parts quietly take that feeling away. Notice where energy lingers heavy, where sound feels dull, where something inside you whispers, "This isn't helping me anymore." Because the most powerful transformation doesn't start with big action. It starts with a shift in attention. And once you begin seeing your home not as a static structure, but as a living reflection of your choices, your past, your healing, that's when change takes root. Real, lasting, soft but strong change. So maybe tonight, before you turn off the lights, you sit in stillness for a moment. You look around, not with critique, but with compassion. And you ask gently, is this space helping me grow? And if it's not, what small, loving shift can I make to invite my life forward again?